Okay, today I'm in my own neighborhood and I'm taking you on a bit of a history lesson while I walk my dog. Actually, here, I'll show you my dog and I'll tell you a little bit about him first. So here's my dog, Princeton. He is a Shiba Inu. He's 17 years old, he's blind and he's deaf. He's the original Doji meme, actually, from the Dogecoin. And yeah, he's probably one of the oldest in the world. I think the oldest is 18 and he is 17. So he's doing pretty good. Still walking around the block. Again, blind and deaf, so I have to guide him with the leash here. Okay, so now that I've given you the history lesson of my dog, let me give you the history lesson of some streets in my neighborhood. So this street, these homes were built in the 70s. At that time, they sold for approximately $45,000 brand new. That was in about 1978, 1979 or so. Today, according to the Bank of Canada's inflation calculator, they would be worth $200,000 taking into account the inflation we've had as per the Bank of Canada. Some people call it the CPLie or the CPI, whatever you want to call it. These homes are approximately 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, and their footprint is the same, and they're on approximately 50-foot lots. Today, they would sell between $600,000 and $700,000, not the $200,000 the Bank of Canada claims we're at right now. Now, these homes on this street, they were built in the late 80s. They're on 40-foot lots. They're 1,000 to 1,200 square feet with a similar footprint. They originally sold for between $100,000 to $120,000. The Bank of Canada, with their inflation calculations, says they'd be worth $225,000 to $260,000 right now, and they're currently selling between $600,000 and $700,000. So this next street here, this was built in the mid-90s, these homes. I actually used to drive my dirt bike through here when I was a kid. And these homes are between 1,200 and 1,400 square foot each. And the reason I'm mentioning the square footage and the footprints is because it matters, right? So these are a lot of back splits, raised bungalows. They take up a larger footprint than a two-story, but we'll get to that in a minute. So these, again, they have a similar square foot as their footprint. So their footprint is also 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. And these are on 50-foot lots. They were being sold in the mid-90s for between $125,000 and $150,000. As per the Bank of Canada's inflation calculator, they would now be worth $230,000 to $280,000. Now on the market, these things would sell between $700,000 to $800,000. Again, pretty far off of the CPI or the Bank of Canada's inflation calculator. Okay, so I had to drop the dog off. He was getting tired. So this next neighborhood I'm in, or street, was built in the 2000s, mid-2000s. They're on 40 to 50-foot lots. The square footage range is from 1,200 to 2,500 square feet. The footprints, though, are 1,000 to 1,400 square feet because we have a lot more two-stories now in this neighborhood. They were originally sold from the builder between $200,000 to $225,000. As per the Bank of Canada's CPI or inflation calculator, they would be worth between $300,000 and $350,000 right now. They are actually selling for between $800,000 and $900,000, so pretty far off of that inflation calculator's numbers. Now these homes behind me, they were built in around 2014. They are 1,700 to 2,000 square feet, but they have 800 to 1,000 square foot footprints because they're all mostly two stories. It's pretty windy out here today. Now these places would have been sold for around $330,000 brand new. Bank of Canada's inflation calculator puts them at about $415,000 in today's value, and they would be selling between $800,000 and $850,000. These are now on 33-foot lots. Now this is where things start to change, so I'm going to move on to our next and last neighborhood now, and of course we pretty much know where that's going to go. Okay, so lastly we have 2024. We have 30 to 35-foot lots, a 20 to 2,500 square foot house on a 800 to 1,000 square foot footprint. And it's going to cost you well over $1 million. Like, these people are going to be asking $1 million to $1.2 million for these homes. So things have really changed drastically. You don't see too many bungalows, back splits, bi-levels anymore because they're just too unaffordable to build. A builder couldn't make money, so they're not going to build them. Now, looking at this chart, I did make a chart on this, you really see it change around 2014 or so, where, the prices just skyrocketed, and prior to that, the homes were worth $200,000 to $300,000 adjusted for inflation. But of course, nowadays, even those prices are tripled and doubled for most, but tripled for many too. So let me know what you think, and maybe one day I'll come to your neighborhood and see what things are like. But where I am and where I've been today are just average neighborhoods in Canada and Ontario. They're actually the average price points. The average price in Canada is around $650,000 to $700,000 right now, and these are the places I've been touring. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.